Babe of the day. Babe of the day. Michelle Clunie. This is the first of two Babe of the Day videos centered on actresses from the short-lived sitcom The Jeff Foxworthy Show. Be sure to watch my next video on Anita Barone. Michelle Clunie is a talented knockout actress who has been around for a while, but besides a few key roles, she just hasn't been given that chance to shine and become the big star I felt she always should have been. She's also the longtime girlfriend of director Bryan Singer. More on that in a bit. Michelle was born and raised in Portland, Oregon. In her early years, she was far more interested in dance, especially ballet, than she was acting. She did, however, act in some plays and operas. She also played the violin. Michelle was awarded a scholarship for the Academy of Professional Ballet. What she did as a teenager was very highbrow. At the age of 19, though, she sold her violin for $200 so she could go to Los Angeles and start a professional acting career. Things were slow going for a while, pretty common for most actresses. But at the age of 22, she got her first role in a film called Sunset Strip. It was a smaller role in a sexy action thriller, but it got the ball rolling. Her next film appearance, though, is the first one a lot of people saw. It was a small role as a camper in Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. After that, it was small roles in TV and film for a while. She played a sketch artist in the 1995 film The Usual Suspects, which was the breakout film for director Bryan Singer. Ever since this time, she and Singer have held an association, although they've never married and she's never been in his other projects. I would think being in any of his many films after this would have really helped her out. What's up with that? The first substantial role Michelle got is my absolute favorite. She played the funny, feisty Cajun beauty, Dee Dee Landreau, in The Jeff Foxworthy Show. This was a great sitcom, but it had a short and troubled run that lasted for just 2 seasons. It went through a lot of format changes, but the absolute best period of the show, without question, was the second format that happened in the first season. In the show, Jeff Foxworthy plays a fictional version of himself who runs a heating and air business. He's the straight man. His business is just about to tank, and he lost his 2 employees, who were series regulars. Jeff's brother Wayne, played by the outstanding Jay Moore, comes in and wants to help his brother run the business. Jeff had reservations at first. Wayne was wild, crazy, and irresponsible. He was the ultimate hyper hillbilly. However, this was something Wayne wanted to do, and surprisingly, it helped turn things around. It wasn't long after Wayne was added that his girlfriend Dee Dee Landreau entered the picture. Wayne had ditched her, but she followed him up north. Dee Dee ultimately becomes the secretary for Jeff's business, and she continues her relationship with Wayne. For the last 5 episodes of the first season, Michelle Clunie was a main part of the cast. It was way too short of a run. Dee Dee was funny, sexy, trashy, and a bit scary, particularly for Wayne. She was very Cajun, and besides being allegedly good with a knife, she was also into voodoo magic. Dee Dee was a kook, but a sexy, funny kook. Once Michelle and her character of Dee Dee was brought into the series, that's when the show really started, in my opinion. So why didn't it last? For the first season, The Jeff Foxworthy Show was on ABC. I have never believed in the rating system, and it's a usual excuse why a show is taken off the air. This series got accused of bad ratings, but straight up, ABC executives didn't like the show. It was too southern for them, even though it was based in Bloomington, Indiana. For much of the first season, Jeff was the only southerner in the show. A lot of viewers out there in TV land really wanted this show to stay on the air, and wrote in saying so. From February 1996 to May of that year, there was a long hiatus. Then, there was one last episode to serve as a season finale. Then it was canceled, much to the chagrin of fans like me. At first, I was excited when NBC picked up the series. That is, until I saw it. Although still not a bad show, it's almost entirely different from the first season. Jeff's wife was recast, which I was never happy with. The show was moved to the South. He no longer had his own business. It was mentioned that his own business up north had tanked and he came back home. There was no mention of Wayne or Dee Dee. Plus, Jeff's new baby that he had in the earlier season finale was changed from a girl to a boy who is now a preschool age. It's like season 2 was set in an alternate universe from season 1, before such things were done on a regular basis. The Jeff Foxworthy show took a hit without Wayne and Dee Dee, and it rarely went past 1 or 2 episodes without another format change. After the second season, in a confusing last few episodes, the show was done. It's really too bad. Michelle deserved to be in this show, and if it had been given more of a chance in the first place, it would have undoubtedly made her a star. I've remembered her ever since because of this role. After this, it was back to mostly small stuff. That is, however, until 2000. For 5 seasons, Michelle was one of the main stars of the drama series Queer as Folk. It aired on Showtime. This was an incredible departure from her work on the Jeff Foxworthy show, and it remains her biggest role to date. Michelle played Melanie Marcus, a lesbian lawyer who had a child with her partner, Lindsay Peterson. All the main people in the series are gay, hence the name. Although she had a long run of 83 episodes in Queer as Folk, much of what Michelle has done afterwards has remained smaller roles. She did, however, have a recurring role on the teen drama series Make It or Break It, and in the dark TV series version of Teen Wolf, where she played the biology teacher Mrs. Finch. Besides an episode of NCIS Los Angeles in 2018, and a short film in 2023 called Everything's Fine, Michelle has largely dropped out of acting. I like the more comedic stuff she did earlier in her career over the dramatic stuff she did later on, but that's just me. I'm more of a comedy guy anyway, and she was very good at it. In the fall of 2014, Michelle announced that she was going to have her first child, at the age of 45, with Bryan Singer. Her son, Dashell Clunie Singer, was born the next January. Michelle and Bryan Singer still seem to be on friendly terms, although the latter has really gone through some personal and professional embarrassment in more recent years. As early as 1997, only 2 years after he hit it big with The Usual Suspects, was Bryan getting hit with sexual assault claims. Nothing much came of it at that time. It wasn't until 2014 that things got more serious. Bryan Singer is openly bisexual, and all the claims of sexual assault have come from younger boys. The 2017 lawsuit really did damage to him professionally, and one of the biggest, most acclaimed directors in the world started being taken off projects. The 2019 allegations, however, were the final nail in the coffin, and he hasn't worked since. It's a sad end for a man who worked on so many big movies that a lot of people like. I liked his X-Men movies, among other films. Also unfortunate is the fact that this is undoubtedly a factor in why Michelle is laid so low, beginning around 2017. I cast no shade on anyone, but the media and general public isn't as nice. Whatever Bryan did or didn't do is for the courts to decide. I do feel bad for Michelle and her son, though, because they have to deal with this to some degree. But for me, she will always be Dee Dee Landreau, the funny Cajun floozy from the Jeff Foxworthy show, and a hot pepper of a babe of the day, babe of the day,